Tonight on News Channel 21, the Central Oregon community turned out to save lives as part of our Red Cross blood donation telethon. Here are the final tallies. And our cameras were rolling as criticism over a new cell phone tower in Bend came out at a public meeting this evening. Plus, a billing issue for utilities customers in Bend could have further consequences. The news starts now.
Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is News Channel 21, First at 10 on Fox.
Good evening, I'm Lee Anderson. U.S. forces were under attack overseas tonight. Iran has claimed responsibility for firing ballistic missiles at 2 military bases in Iraq that host U.S. forces. No word yet on any American casualties. Iran state media calls tonight's missile attack against a U.S. air base retaliation and revenge for the U.S. killing its top military leader, who was laid to rest in the Kerman province today. Alice Barr reports from Washington tonight on what could lie ahead.
Tonight, dramatic new video aired on Iranian state TV appears to show the moment of attack on 2 Iraqi military bases that house American troops. The Pentagon confirming Iran launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles at those facilities. Iran calling it retribution for the killing of its top general, Qasem Soleimani.
But this is undoubtedly the most serious moment between Iran and America in the last 40 years.
Tonight, President Trump downplaying the attacks, tweeting all is well, and so far so good on the assessment of casualties. Earlier today, he issued a stern warning.
If Iran does anything that they shouldn't be doing, they're going to be suffering the consequences, and very strongly.
And with Iran already threatening more retaliation, lawmakers are raising alarm about where we go from here.
I am questioning whether or not the Trump administration has a coherent strategy for what to do next.
Republican Senator Rand Paul tracing the tensions back to the U.S. pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal.
I think this maximum pressure campaign, where we give no off-ramp and there's no ability or attempt to engage, I think it's been a failure.
While supporters say the president was right to fight back.
Appeasement hasn't worked. Weakness invites the wolves.
President Trump earlier defending his decision to kill Soleimani based on intelligence he was planning imminent attacks on Americans.
And he was a monster. And he's no longer a monster. He's dead.
Tonight, the U.S. and Iran both on high alert, each side waiting to see what the other will do next. If the U.S. retaliates, Iran is threatening counterstrikes against Israel and the United Arab Emirates. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And this just in tonight, an Iranian emergency official says a crash has killed all those on board a Ukrainian commercial airliner that took off from Tehran. As many as 170 were reportedly on board. He said rescuers were trying to collect the dead. The plane went down in farmland outside of Iran's capital, Tehran. Authorities have blamed a mechanical problem for the crash, and initial reports say it's not related to tonight's missile attack. Facebook announced it's banning deep fake videos heading into this presidential election year. They're videos manipulated by artificial intelligence to make it look like someone said something they did not. The company says it'll delete these videos, but won't delete videos that are simply edited to be misleading. Facebook says those will stay up on the site, but they'll get a label to warn people about any contested information. Tonight, candidate for Secretary of State Jamie McLeod-Skinner held a town hall meeting in Bend. Jacob Larson was there, and he joins us now with more on what was discussed. Jacob?
Lee, tonight's town hall at Holland's Head Barn allowed McLeod-Skinner a chance to share her vision for the state. McLeod-Skinner covered many topics, including speaking about the role of the Secretary of State position. She also touched on audits, the environment, and local elections across the state. McLeod-Skinner says she wants to bring people together to tackle important issues.
A lot of the issues that we're hearing, whether it's climate change, whether it's safety, all these different issues, the ability that we already showed that we can do in 2018 of bringing communities together and have these dialogues, that can also be part of the bully pulpit of this role. So there's all sorts of opportunities to this role that I find really exciting, but it's also just a critically important role. That's why I want to do it. That's why I want this job.
3 other candidates have filed to run for Secretary of State as well. They are Mark Hass, Cameron Smith, and Jennifer Williamson. All of the candidates at this time are Democrats. Jacob Larson, News Channel 21.
A mostly calm day for us across the region, but changes have already begun in Central Oregon, and that may mean rain and snow. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Here's Katie Tsuniga with a first look at our local alert weather forecast.
Lee, we've actually seen the winds calm down just a little bit tonight. You wouldn't know that, though, in Prineville and Madras, still at 13. But Bend was up to 23 miles per hour at one point today. So we should see our winds die down a little bit more tonight until we get into the early hours of tomorrow. And they're going to pick back up tomorrow. In fact, they could be stronger than they were today, with gusts up to 30 miles per hour out of the south. The temperatures right now are cooling off finally just a little bit. We've stayed rather warm today, especially for this time of year where we're usually only at about 42. So we got warmer and we're staying a little bit warmer, and with the clouds overhead and the insulation, we're not going to have that cold of a night, but we're looking at those temperatures, like I said, finally cooling off just a little bit. We're seeing those cooler temperatures as that cold front begins to make its way. And if you haven't been outside recently, at least here in Bend, we had some rain. The streets were wet not too long ago. We're looking at just scattered showers right now across the region, as you can see the system on the Cascades. But for here in Central Oregon, we're looking at increasing clouds, a chance for more showers tonight, and then snow is on the way. We'll go into detail about all of that coming up in your complete local alert weather forecast. Lee, back to you.
Registration's now open for the 44th annual Pole Pedal Paddle Race in Bend. The multi-sport race is set for May 16th. New this year, you'll have the option of replacing the cross-country ski leg with mountain biking. You can also hire a cross-country skier from the Nordic Ski Program at Mount Bachelor Sports Education Foundation to do that leg for you or your team. Early bird pricing is active through April 9th. News Channel 21 was able to host the Pacific Northwest's first ever blood donation telethon along with the American Red Cross in Bend this evening. During that time, 142 of you either gave blood or made an appointment to do so. Our own sparkling Bob Shaw spent the evening taking calls, and some of our anchors and reporters got in the chair to donate themselves. Those who donate can actually track where their blood ends up through the Red Cross app. News Channel 21 talked to the Red Cross local market manager, Jennifer Shaw, about how it works.
You'll actually get a notification of the hospital, city and state that it went to, so that really connects you that, oh my gosh, my donation that I gave actually went to this hospital. And I know we hear back from donors saying they really like that aspect of the app. It really hits home with them that their donation and their time spent here really does have an impact on somebody's life.
One of tonight's donors, Lisa Quinn, says she came in to give blood after seeing the telethon was happening. We asked her why she thinks it's so important to do so.
Because I know I'm going to be helping out there when I help somebody, and someday I may need it as well. So it's a good pay it forward.
And she's right. The Red Cross says each donation can help up to 3 people in need. On average, people can donate a pint of blood every 56 days. Now, if you missed tonight's telethon but still want to schedule an appointment to donate blood, call the Red Cross Donation Center in Bend at the number there on the screen, 1-800-RED-CROSS. If you don't live in Bend, the Red Cross can even come to you. Later this hour, an update on the search for 2 missing children from Idaho and why their parents are not cooperating with the investigation. And at 10:30, new flights out of Roberts Field began service today.
And an update to a proposed cell tower that's causing some concern in Bend. We'll have the latest after this.
Last night we told you about plans for a new cell tower off Butler Market Road in Bend. Jacob Larson was at the meeting tonight and joins us now with more on that one. Jacob?
Lee, tonight a meeting was held with ACOM Consulting, who is representing Verizon Wireless at Mountain View High School, to discuss plans for the tower. Many in the area have voiced their opposition to the tower, saying it could pose potential health risks. There are some conflicting reports as to if cell towers do cause health issues such as cancer. The meeting, which was open house style, that allowed people to ask questions about the proposal. The proposed location off of Butler Market Road is near a neighborhood and Trinity Lutheran School. I spoke to the executive director and head of schools at Trinity Lutheran earlier today to get his thoughts on the cell tower.
part of the concern from our parents is that we have a number of families that live in the Mountain View neighborhood. And they're concerned because the cell tower is not a great distance from their homes. In one case, in fact, just over the back fence. And so they're very concerned about that. But I think the whole community of Mountain View is probably asking the same question as far as, is this the best place for a cell tower versus a commercial area or a business area?
Pinnock was also at tonight's meeting to learn more about the potential project. Only a pre-application has been submitted to the City of Bend, meaning the project is still in its early stages. A formal proposal has not yet been put in front of the Planning Commission. Jacob Larson, News Channel 21.
President Trump wants to change a 50-year-old environmental protection law he says would make it easier to build new infrastructure. Steve Rappaport reports on the potential impacts.
It's called the National Environmental Policy Act, a law requiring agencies to examine the impact of federal infrastructure projects on everything from endangered species to greenhouse gases. But President Trump wants to change how the law is applied so climate change would no longer be a factor. It's a major change to one of the country's most important environmental protection laws. Administration officials say the main goal is to boost the economy by speeding up approvals for projects like pipelines and oil drilling, a move being applauded by the energy industry.
There's no such thing as the oil patch anymore. You know, we're producing oil and natural gas all over the country.
President Trump argues the law is slowing down his push to fast-track oil, gas, and coal production, writing in a statement, quote, "The environmental review process designed to improve decision-making has become increasingly complex and difficult to navigate." But advocates and activists say that view doesn't reflect the need to address climate change through an economic lens.
The way we're going to change our culture is through politics and through our economy and through investing in different industries besides oil.
Some administration officials are also questioning the move and say ignoring the environmental impact could end up costing the government in the long term.
Disaster costs are projected to increase as certain extreme weather events become more frequent and intense due to climate change.
Right now, the changes are just proposals. They'd have to be finalized before they take effect, and environmental groups are likely to challenge them in court. In New York, Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Coming up, smoke from Australia's wildfires is now reaching around the world, and disaster in Puerto Rico's activated the U.S. National Guard. Plus, winter condition caused this massive pileup on the East Coast. We'll take a closer look at winter weather to come up here in Central Oregon. That's next. You may have noticed smoke near the Crooked River National Grassland today. Crews were out burning 56 acres of juniper slash piles near Highway 26. There could be some light smoke in the area for the next day or two. New satellite images show smoke from wildfires burning out of control in Australia have now reached South America. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reports scorching heat and high winds are fueling the brush fires. So far, the blaze have killed 25 people. Millions of wild animals and livestock are also believed to have died in the fires. Now to more disaster, this time in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico's under a state of emergency tonight after a series of earthquakes struck the island, activating the National Guard. One of those quakes was a magnitude 6.4 and lasted 30 seconds. At least one person is dead, and power's still knocked out across much of the island tonight. Back stateside, snow in the East Coast turned disastrous for commuters this morning. A 30-car pileup closed northbound lanes of Interstate 95 in southern Maine. State police reported several injuries, with a nearby hospital confirming at least 9 patients admitted after the accident. Those lanes are finally back open tonight, but drivers will see another round of slick conditions tomorrow morning. Tragedy in Idaho serving as a reminder to practice avalanche safety this ski season. One person is dead after an avalanche at Silver Mountain Ski Resort in Kellogg today. The resort confirmed 5 other people were rescued with minor injuries. The search for a body is ongoing tonight with probes and rescue dogs. Skiers there today described fresh powder and high winds on the slopes just before the avalanche happened.
A lot of snow. It was a little bit of wind, but really it was perfect temperature. And you know, in some spots there was 2 to 3 feet of snow.
Well, it snowed a lot, and then it got warmer and heavier snow, which is just
prime for an avalanche.
The avalanche happened in the Warner Peak area where all runs are experts level. A little bit closer to home, we're actually looking at a winter weather warning along the Cascades until 12 o'clock tomorrow night. Between now and then, that is actually when we're anticipating to see the bulk of the snowfall in the system that is currently on the Cascades right now. And we've even seen a little bit of rain and maybe even some snow in your area has begun to fall this evening. We're also keeping a watch out on those winds. They're picking back up again in Bend. We're back to 13 miles per hour, and they could increase again tomorrow up to 30-mile-per-hour gusts. So increasing clouds tonight, chances of showers, and snow is on the way. We'll go into detail coming up in a bit in your complete local alert weather forecast.
A Eugene man's being charged with a hate crime after he allegedly attacked a 70-year-old motel owner in Redmond, sending her to the hospital with broken bones. It's the first hate crime charge in Deschutes County since a recent law change. The revised law, passed back in October, allows individuals to be charged where before 2 or more people had to be involved. Investigators say James Lamb acted alone in the alleged incident with Redmond's Hub Motel owner. Lamb's charged with a hate crime because the owner claims he made statements about her race after asking to use the phone to make a long-distance call. A hate crime is described as the intent to harm another because of that person's race, color, religion, sexual orientation, disability, or national origin.
You have to recognize that one person can have a sufficient hate in their heart, and they can intimidate and scare the living daylights out of somebody when they know they're being attacked because of who they are.
The law revision also made hate crimes for individuals a felony as opposed to a misdemeanor. The woman's husband and co-owner says she'll be in the hospital for another few weeks recovering from the attack. Lamb will have a chance to contest the allegations against him at his next court hearing on Friday. The search for 2 missing Idaho children led investigators to search the family's home. But a neighbor said by the time FBI got there, the mother was gone. Emma Iano-Kona spoke to that neighbor.
Seemed like a typical couple.
Seth Bernard says he and his wife helped Lori Vallow move into her new townhome last September. She had just moved from Arizona to Rexburg with her 2 children, JJ and Tylee. 7-year-old JJ, who's about the same age as Seth's children, grew close with his son.
They played every day almost until he said he was moving to his grandmother's. So.
Only about a week later, JJ told Seth's kids that they'd be leaving soon.
They told my son that, oh yeah, we're going to go visit my grandmother. We didn't know where that was. They said, oh, okay. And I understood because school was about to start. The semester was about to start, and I understood she was going to school, from what I understood.
But Grandma told investigators that visit never happened. Wherever they went, they haven't returned. Seth said his son misses his new friend.
He would ask, hey, when's JJ coming back? Well, I don't know.
But Seth didn't notice anything off.
But the weird thing is there was no warning signs saying, hey, there's something going on here. There's nothing. They were very nice, very friendly. She baked us brownies one time.
That is until police started knocking on his door. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Seth saw Lori and her brother, who also lived in the same townhomes, packing up a silver truck. He says they left most of their belongings behind, including JJ's toys. The next day, the FBI warned Seth that they'd be searching Lori's home.
They just asked us to leave. They called me and said, hey, we're going to be raiding their house here in like 10 minutes. Would you mind getting your family out? We don't want anything to happen.
But Lori was already gone. FBI also searched her brother's townhome and the one next door with a family connection to Lori.
Her sister moved in there, so that's why they raided her place. So there's double raids.
Seth says he hasn't seen the sister and isn't sure if she's still living there, but he hopes to see JJ again soon.
Hopefully we can find them. We just hope that they're just relocated for a safe location. That's all we hope for.
And that was Emma Iano-Kona reporting. Police say the children's parents have left Idaho and are not cooperating with the investigation. Still to come, a major fast food chain's headed to Bend, but there's concern over how that'll affect traffic on North Highway 97. But first, how a mix-up for utility customers in Bend could end up being a bigger privacy concern. That's next. Thousands of people in Bend who pay their utility bills online may be victims of a potential data security breach. Your payment card information may have been compromised if you used a credit or debit card between August 30th and October 14th of last year. The cardholder's name, billing address, card number, card type, card security code, and card expiration date may have been taken. The city's third-party vendor, Central Square, discovered a malicious code that may have gained access to people's information when they logged in to make a one-time payment through Click2Gov.
It is something that was related to a vulnerability in the Click2Gov software that the city happens to be using for our utility billing payments. But we do have a dedicated cybersecurity team who stays current with best practices, make sure that they are always following the best practices for updating and patching and securing our systems.
About 5,000 City of Bend customers were impacted. You'll receive a letter if you were affected. Prineville police are taking part in a distracted driving sting this month. They'll be on the lookout for people talking on their phones and texting while driving. The Department of Transportation is providing funding for the added enforcement in the area. A first offense ticket could range between $265 and $440. Coming up, artificial intelligence has entered the operating room at one Florida research hospital. We'll tell you how the technology could buy some patients more time.
And Bend Parks and Recs looking to select a new board member. I'll have the latest in the process in just a few minutes.
And our best chance for snow on the high deserts on the way as the Cascades continue to welcome much needed inches toward our snowpack. Your complete local alert weather forecast is next. The next wave of storm that we've been anticipating has started to impact the Cascades. Take a look at our travel conditions right now. Just about every camera we're looking at right now, we can either not see the road because there's too much snow, or there is snow falling very heavily. Look at Mount Bachelor, Willamette Pass, and Government Camp. You can tell that these areas are starting to receive that snow that we need and we have been anticipating that's been on its way. We've also been watching and keeping an eye on our winds across Central Oregon right now, as they've been pretty strong this early evening and leading into the later hours. Now we could continue to see these winds up to 15 miles per hour overnight, but most likely they'll die down in the early hours of the morning before they pick back up tomorrow. And we could see sustained winds tomorrow, pretty strong, anywhere up to 20 miles per hour. And then we're looking at gusts anywhere between 25 to 30. So it could be very gusty conditions tomorrow. The temperatures right now across the state, we're finally cooling off a little bit in Central Oregon. We've been much warmer for most of the part today, especially with the clouds overhead. The warmer temperatures that we had today got to the 50s, and a couple areas of Central Oregon kept us warmer into the evening. But now with the onset of that cold front coming through, you can see it's making an impact. We're just on that line where we're seeing those conditions change a little bit. So a little cooler in Central Oregon right now than we were yesterday, something that we anticipate is going to happen over the next couple of days as this system goes through. Right now along the Cascades, you can see that wintry snow mix and a lot of rain along the valley and the coast from this system as it moves into Central Oregon. Our clouds are increasing overhead. We even have had a few wet roads already tonight out there. Now conditions tonight for some areas are going to drop below freezing, so keep that in mind if you're going anywhere tomorrow. We're going to have the precipitation tonight and freezing temperatures overnight, so there could be some slick roads out there for tomorrow morning if you're headed out the door. Now temperatures are going to warm up a little bit. We will make it to right around average for parts of Central Oregon, but still in those 30s, and then those chances for snow and even some rain snow mixes for parts of us here in Central Oregon. Now our snow levels are beginning to drop tonight. We're going to see them go from 3,200 down to 1,800 tomorrow. So Wednesday into Thursday is our greatest chance for snow, and with snow levels at 1,700 feet, you can see that there's a pretty good chance that everybody in Central Oregon could get a dusting. Now it's not anticipated that everybody's going to need to shovel, but there is a chance that you could see some snowfall over the next 24 hours. The system has started to move, so this trough of low pressure has pushed through, and we're starting to see some of the Arctic temperatures just up in that northeast corner. This is what we're looking at today. Then tomorrow it pushes through again, and we're going to have a bit cooler temperatures because of that on Thursday, but not quite as much of a possibility for snow. We'll take a look at that here on our future track. So here we are tonight with the snow and rain along along the Cascades. Moving into the later parts of the tomorrow morning, you can see some more snow possibility. All that blue is a chance for snow. And then all the way through till Wednesday night, snow along the Cascades, rain in the valley and the coast, more snow on the east side of the Cascades, all the way till Thursday morning at 3 a.m. Then we begin to watch that system push out. So Thursday into Friday, we may see a few sprinkles of snow, but we do start to clear out and we begin to get some partly cloudy skies until Friday morning when the next onset of snow comes into Central Oregon all through Friday and then into Saturday. So there's still several waves of this storm coming through the region. For the next 24 hours, and we're looking at snow just tomorrow, waking up with about 6.5 inches on Bachelor, 1 inch down in Sun River, and then waking up on Thursday, we could see a couple of inches around the region. So just maybe keep a shovel handy just in case you need to go somewhere out in the morning. For the rest of the week, we are looking at a chance for snow every day, anywhere from about 30% to about 90% that we could see snow or rain snow mix across Central Oregon. That's been a check of your weather. Let's look at that snow report.
Your local alert weather snow report brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Well, here's that snow for the Cascades. We've seen 4 inches at Timberline, 2 at Hoodoo, 1 at Mount Bachelor. We are anticipating this will be changing a lot through this week, building up that snow base that we need. Hoodoo says that they will open up on Thursday, and Willamette Pass says that they plan to open up their lifts on Friday.
All right, let's get those closed banners off that graphic there.
I know. Most of them are saying open on the weekends. They're just kind of closing during the week and hoping for more snow. So
well,
that'll change.
Willamette always has trouble. I mean, they just have in the last few years, but we need to get Hoodoo up and going.
I like going up to Hoodoo. That's
a lot of people just rely on Hoodoo. If you're coming from the valley or if you live in Sisters or
I actually
Blackview Ranch.
That's the first place I went cross-country skiing. It was kind of fun. I like it over there.
Good. This is fun too. This is a game we play every night. It's called Trivia. Okay, this is a tough one too. What U.S. city marked the start of the Oregon Trail? Independence, Missouri, Denver, Colorado, or Lincoln, Nebraska?
So when I was in grade school, I studied the Donner Party, not the Oregon Trail. So I really don't know.
All right, I think I've got an idea. I'm going to take what to be, I think, is an educated guess.
Mine is a wild guess.
Well, I'll probably miss it wildly too. All right, 3, 2, 1, A.
Okay. I just picked the middle.
Okay.
I split the difference. Mine was so random.
Okay, we're going to find out who's right and who's wrong in just a little bit. Stick around. A new Bend Parks and Recreation board member has been appointed. Jacob Larson was there and spoke to the new board member. Jacob?
Lee, tonight the Bend Parks and Recreation Board voted to appoint Deb Schoen to its vacant seat. Schoen has 40 years of experience working in Parks and Recreation while working for the Tualatin Hills Parks and Recreation District. She now lives in Bend. She was chosen this evening from a list of 6 finalists. She told me she's excited to get to work and be a part of the district.
I've always admired the work we've done, and years ago it revolved around swimming pools, teaching kids to swim, and baseball fields and soccer fields, but I've really been re-energized in the last 10 years when the focus has been on accessibility and equity issues and making certain that we are serving all of the community. That's been really exciting for me and has kept my enthusiasm high for the park and rec industry.
Schoen says she wants to work to make sure the district creates better relationships with the entire community. After being appointed, the current board members strongly encouraged Schoen to run for the seat when it becomes available in the next election in 2021. Schoen will be sworn in on January 21st at the Parks District meeting. Jacob Larson, News Channel 21.
Starting today, there are more options for direct travel out of Roberts Field. That's because Alaska Airlines began its new daily direct flights to Los Angeles and San Diego. Currently, the airline offers direct flights to Portland and Seattle, which makes up more than 40% of all commercial flights at the airport. With the addition of San Diego, the airport now has a 10th nonstop destination. The excitement surrounding Chick-fil-A and Ben's only increased since the release of its grand opening. However, drivers are worried how it could change traffic in the area. Chick-fil-A joins an upcoming Greek fast food restaurant, Kefi Fresh, and Chipotle. which are both currently still under construction. With retail stores like Ross and Target across the street, the intersection of Roble Lane and Highway 97 is expected to become even more problematic for drivers. However, we spoke with ODOT and some business owners who say the traffic should not be something to worry about.
3rd Street will continue north on what is currently Highway 97, and we'll move the highway portion of that over closer to the railroad tracks. Access to Cascade Village and the other shopping areas that are near there actually should become slightly better because there'll be less competition, if you will, for the same space on the road.
It's frustrating for people standing or sitting at that stoplight, but it gives visibility to the center, which is one of the reasons we chose this location.
Peter Murphy says the rerouting project will start in 2022. After the break, we'll show you how surgeons at the University of Miami are using artificial intelligence in the operating room. Stay tuned. Neurosurgeons in Miami are using artificial intelligence in a new method to treat brain tumors. The cutting-edge technology is still in clinical trials, but offers much hope to patients with no other options. Jeff Lennox has a closer look.
Medical professionals hoping new cutting-edge technology will help neurosurgeons during operations in removing brain tumors.
This is really the first time that we've brought artificial intelligence into the operating room, so it's a very exciting study.
Doctors with the University of Miami Sylvester Cancer Center, New York University, and University of Michigan published on Monday a new study offering a more precise way in diagnosing brain tumors during surgery.
But it provides us with a faster diagnosis as well as a more accurate diagnosis. So we can make decisions during the surgery sooner.
Through the use of artificial intelligence, the new imaging technique reveals tumor infiltration in human tissue by collecting scattered laser light that illuminates essential features not typically seen.
And now with this new technique, we can get that answer in just a few minutes, almost instantaneously. And with artificial intelligence, we've been able to get the results with almost 95% accuracy.
By providing results within minutes, the method gives neurosurgeons more precision in completely removing cancerous brain tumors. It also helps inform the surgeon with more rapid and frequent information, ensuring the area of interest is 100% cancer-free.
In the few patients where we're really uncertain what we're going to be doing, then it has a major impact on either preventing further surgery that's unnecessary or guiding us to the right location.
The traditional methods usually require 20 to 30 minutes to yield results. With the breakthrough procedure, doctors will be able to make critical decisions during safe and effective brain tumor surgery in much less time.
And so it will shorten the time of surgery and make the surgery even more safe for our patients.
Even though this technique is still in its trial phase, the game-changing technology is an exciting step forward in the management of brain tumors.
The artificial intelligence software needs to go through a full FDA approval, and this is the first step to kind of take that process through to get final approval. We all think, the doctors here, that this is going to have a major impact to help the community around here in South Florida.
That was Jeff Lennox reporting. Experts say it could be useful in analyzing tumors faster. Researchers say, if approved, the artificial intelligence technology could be used in other kinds of surgery as well. Still to come, a new mom seeing quadruple this year. That story's in today's Take a Look at This in just a few minutes. But first, Katie Tsuniga has another look at our forecast and the answer to that trivia question. We'll be right back. Here's some important Oregon trivia tonight.
I know, something
History.
I wish I knew, but
History.
I didn't. So,
Independence, Denver, or Lincoln?
you said Independence, which was correct.
Well, I'll tell
Good
you why.
job.
I'll tell you why I said that.
Yeah, why did you pick that?
Because Independence, Missouri is on a major river, so people
Would've
coming from
followed-
the
yeah, of course.
would have taken the river
Yeah.
first
Okay.
because I mean, well, Lewis and Clark started on the Missouri River, which in St. Louis, so
Yeah, okay.
that's why I did it.
That's a good, very educated guess. I didn't think about that, so
You went with Denver.
I just took a shot in the dark. I picked B because it was in the middle. That's why I got it wrong. I didn't really think about it. So you are now ahead of me this week.
Yeah, but not by much.
Yeah.
There's still time
I
to
have time
blow
to
it.
come back. There's time to rally. And
Still time to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, as they call it. Okay, your turn.
Okay, it's my turn. So We have already started to see changes in Central Oregon tonight. Our temperatures are dropping. There is rain that has hit the roads in some parts of Central Oregon. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have even seen some snow already tonight in the higher elevations as that system has started to make its impact on the Cascades as well as parts of Central Oregon. For tomorrow, we're looking at our temperatures to be just slightly above average, but still on the cooler side, and definitely a chance for that rain and snow. In fact, tomorrow is probably our greatest chance for precipitation all week. Here's a look at the snow levels. We see tonight into tomorrow our snow levels drop from 3,200 to 1,800 feet, and that 1,800 to 1,700 from Wednesday to Thursday. That's our best chance for getting snow. And here's a closer look at our future track. You can see right now we're looking at the opportunity for that snow passing through and tomorrow. You just see that for the most part all through Wednesday. There's a little bit of a break in the clouds around the Redmond area, but until Thursday morning we stay under snow. More breaks during the day on Thursday than on Wednesday, but then once we get into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we just see large amounts of rain and snow mix all the way across the region staying through. So we have a pretty good chance of this system bringing another large amount of snow in on Friday. Waking up tomorrow, we should have a couple inches on the ground in some areas. It's not until Thursday that grows into something you may want to shovel, but we have a 30 to about a 90% chance each day that something is going to fall in your area. That's been a check of your weather. We'll be right back.
Having twins is enough to make you do a double take, but what if it happened twice in a year?
Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A Florida mom is seeing quadruple after welcoming 2 separate sets of twins in 1 year.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would have 2.
Alexandria Wollaston had twin boys in March of 2019. Then, in May, she received news she was expecting another set of boys. Wollaston learned it runs in her family and says it's a blessing. Both of her grandmothers lost twins at birth.
I feel like I hit the twin ladder.
A North Dakota volleyball player may soon up her game with a brand new arm. Mariah Jenkins lost her left arm above the elbow following a serious car accident in 2018. But she refused to quit playing volleyball and now competes with just one arm.
She is the hardest working kid out on the court, in the classroom, just in life.
Her life is changing again thanks to the efforts of 3 generous local organizations who collaborated to gift Jenkins with a new $135,000 prosthetic arm and bionic hand. The motorized hand has 36 pre-programmed grips controlled by an app.
I'm super excited. It's been a while since I've had, obviously, another arm to work with.
In the future, Jenkins is hoping to be fitted with another prosthetic designed specifically for volleyball. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
Wow.
You know what? I'll make a bold prediction. I don't even think it's very bold.
Okay.
Within your lifetime, maybe not mine, but within your lifetime, they will have prosthetic devices so that nobody will be able to tell.
That would make sense.
It'll be
I think
like,
they're getting very close to that.
They are,
even
I think
right
so.
now.
Yeah.
Very
And that's
impressive.
great. I hope that happens.
Yeah.
So. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's time for a final check of the forecast on this Tuesday night.
It's a good one.
Is it funny?
It's very funny. Oh, man. Okay, so we have snow. It's actually already hitting the Cascades right now. We should see lots of it tomorrow. A little bit of a breakthrough Thursday, and then it's looking like we're going to get hit pretty good again on Friday. Jacob?
Nothing to shake a stick at.
You got to take that act way down the road. We're back at 11.